COMiX newsroom. It's time to get you wired in and get your daily dose of the COMiX news, hosted by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, uncanny, advocating creator who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish monsters and more. Join him and his co-hosts as they give you the news coming off the COMiX News Wire. Brought to you in association with... Subscribe to IndieVolt.com to recharge your fandom and to get an education. Be sure to check out all of the IndieVolt programming on the Nines with hosts like Randy Zimmerman, The Kid, Varian Grant, The Indie Princess, with more hosts and shows to come. ComicBookAdvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that, and you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics, like ComicBookAdvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
Hey everybody, it's me, the comics fan, bringing you the COMiX Newswire, CNW. So here we go. We're going to start fast and heartful with the indie news. We're going to show you some great things being created. You guys are going to be excited. So let's go down it. Here we go. From Kevin Gunstone, we have some more future primitive concept art for the crowdfunding drive. We'll be offering 6 prints of Bohan's incredible designs. Print 5, the Solar Barge of Zakol. I hope I'm saying that right. Free to share. Here you go. It looks pretty badass. A flying Viking ship. And from our friend Sal Pizia, we have, don't forget, you can purchase the Protectors issue number 4 digitally through us. Just send us a message. The issue is $3.99. You won't be disappointed. Also, purchase the first 3 with us as well, either digitally or physically. And from Clara, we have more Sword of Justice awesomeness. Let's see what we got today. Follow Brenna, Muley, and Tennant in a world of violence. The sword is the only solution. Sword of Justice is now live on Kickstarter. Get the 2nd issue now. I don't know if it actually lets us see more. Oh, it does let us see more here. Let's see. What is Sword of Justice? I like this new format. We can bring all this stuff up. So we're getting this straight from Facebook. What is the Sword of Justice? Enter a future earth ravaged by violence and pestilence. Man lives in ignorance and strife. Slave race producing the resources needed. While most remain in ignorance, some ask the question, why do gods need food? Mankind needs a Sword of Justice, created by Silvio Spotto. The creator-owned book is published by Top Secret Press. Interior colors by Veronica B. Lopez. And sorry about the beginning of the show. We had some technical difficulties, so hopefully everything is going well and going well with our friend Sam, who's actually given us some more content here over on the Comic Book Advocates Network. And remember to click the image to go to this place, click the name to go to the person, click this to check out the Comic Book Advocates Network, which is the indie news section of our program is brought to you by. And this is episode 26. Can you make it on talent alone? That should be an interesting conversation. I know there are a lot of creators out there who will really enjoy that, because I know some people who always feel like no matter what they do, they're stuck in quicksand. So definitely check that out. From our friend across the pond, this is Russ Leach's amazing art. This is for his comic book, Death is the Only Death Can Save Us. And this is pretty awesome. You got to check it out. If you haven't gone to Indiegogo to check this out, you have to today. This is definitely something that I think you'll want to own and enjoy. With that in mind, we're going to move on to something else you might like. And this is Salvation by our friend Dwayne Showtime Robinson. who is the owner and CEO of Artists at Animation Comics and Entertainment, LLC. Pain and turmoil is what Vaughn goes through every day. What will he ever find? When will he ever find his salvation? Check out the comic to see his journey on our website, and definitely check that out. The art looks fantastic. Give it a look. Here we go. We got something here from I don't know what this actually is. I shared it, but it didn't give the information it did. So we're gonna pop it up real quick and see what did not get translated over. All right, so yeah, clearly it didn't translate the bottom part for whatever reason over, but that's okay. We got it right here. A new episode of Godlings comic is up on Webtoons. My book, will be 300 pages when it is all said and done. It will really feel cool to see my story all together in one book. How big will your comic book series or graphic novel be when you're done creating them? To answer your question, Aaron Humphreys, I don't know, because I have a lot of different series. I don't think I'm ever going to finish creating all this stuff. I think when I die, if I'm lucky, there'll still be stories that they make that I've written that go beyond my grave. So fingers crossed that I continue to be able to create even in the afterlife. So getting back over here, we're going to go over to Carlos Villas. Gives us some amazing art. Look at that. Carlos, you have outdone yourself, my friend. Just amazing. And this is Ange Point Resurrection. One more down for the Feeney Moody Publishing. Better resolution and sketch at. And you can go check it out right here. And he is available for commissions. Mark your calendars. September 18th, the launch of XCT Xfinity is on its way. So that's just later this week, of course, Friday, I believe, just as a snapshot. Yeah, that sounds right. ESK gives us a Kickstarter. We're going to ask permission for this, but he's good to the show, so we're going to show it off anyway. We'll hopefully get his permission to have it on tomorrow's Backer Pause here at 11. I am an Australian comic creator, and my latest series is now on Kickstarter. I do hope you can come check it out. If you love grounded, sci-fi, compelling storytelling with great characters and great story. The art on the page looks amazing. Definitely something looks like it's worth picking up. And this is the first draft of the main cover of Transhuman, with the artwork by Alan Sands and colored by Chris Pickerman. Oh, wait a minute. Piccherin. I'm sorry. I know that's not right. The Kickstarter is launching on September 16th. So click the pre-launch notification now. So as soon as this goes live, we will try to get them on the show and talk to them about it. And Richard Rivera gives us some more news from Scoot. Scoot is going to be the up-and-coming imprint for Scout Comics that's going to deal with 4 to 12, with the expectation that they're going to be high-quality stories to be enjoyed by all readers. It's a focus on young readers. Scoot officially launches the initial lineup in January 2021. However, through social media and Ashcan editions, readers will learn about and even sample some of our exciting stories soon. Like and follow the page for the latest news on Scoot and a chance to win some prizes and giveaways. And our friend Jerry Pernat, or Jerry Magnum, is giving us some awesomeness over on Kickstarter by giving us Aristel Alliance sci-fi action epic, The Love, Death, Betrayal. And I know he already agreed to have this on the show. I think I already put it up on it. It will be on Backer Pause tomorrow. Speaking of people who are going to be places tomorrow on Geekgasm, Jeff Ryder is going to come talk about his amazing Major Holmes and Captain Watson, brought to us by Cloud Wrangler Comics. This is going to be pretty badass, and he has doubled his goal, people. Awesome. Thanks a lot for the support. Crazy times in these crazy times. Follow the link so you can check it out. Fantastic rewards offered. Please share. Major Holmes and Captain Watson comic book issue 1 and 2. Only 4 more days to pledge and to be part of it. Get your copy today. And that's all of our headlines from the indie market for today. If you have news, by the way, that you want brought to us, go to comicbookadvocates.com. That will take you straight to the newsroom. That's all you have to do. Scroll down and you'll be taken to our newsroom, where you can tell us, well, all the things, covering all things that are turning the pages in comics. Clearly, we need to fix that somewhere along the way. That got a little damaged. but you have a program you wanted added, anything you want, just send it to us right here. Seriously, we have a mailroom now for you. We could not make it easier for you guys, and that was on purpose. We want you guys to feel supported by us. We want you to feel like you are important as creators, and as fans, we want to bring you as much information, as much creative info as we can. So please, if you are, as a fan, want us to cover something, if you're a fan of something, then hook us up. You know, tell us what you're reading. Tell us who we should be talking to. Tell us what we're missing that we're not promoting on our show, so we can make sure that we get that creator to be part of COMiX News Wire, CNW. Share it with your friends. Share these videos with your friends. Tell them where to get their information. And we're going to take a quick bump right now so you guys can check something awesome out. And we're going to check out Luke Stone, who's going to be on Geek Speak. He's going to be on a special 2 p.m. edition today over on geekinsider.com, and it'll probably be on my page as well. I'll make sure that they share it out for you guys. Check out Luke Stone's Hybrids right now, and then go ask him a question at 2 p.m. if you haven't.
New from Terraform Comics, Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, Volume 1, Trash Day. When everyday people develop godlike abilities, it is up to a small band of heroes to expose an evil superhuman trafficking ring. This 128-page volume merges history with fiction in an exciting, fast-paced adventure. Get your copy now.
For my creative friends out there, by the way, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that for whatever reason, there is a little bit of an issue right now with when you post something on social media, especially from StreamYard, it's going to private settings, friends only. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to get over to our site, some main stream market watch for today, Tuesday, and we're starting off with some exciting news. I don't know if you've heard it because we're an hour after this has been released, but here we go. For those who don't know, here it is. I should have done wait for it. Wait for it. This is The Mandalorian's trailer is out. Wherever I go, he goes. Great trailer. Definitely some wild action going on in there. Super awesome. And that's brought to us by The Mandalorian. On the COMiX News Wire, you're going to see from comicbook.com, Captain America star Chris Evans finally reacts to the okay, so Chris shared something, and it was a video, and it's been taken down since now. And at the end of the video, it went to his camera roll. And his camera roll, well, let's just put it this way. We got to see all of Captain America and how the superhero syndrome made things bigger, if you know what I mean. We got to see, you know, what's behind the shield. You get my metaphors here, kids? So it was pretty, a lot of people making some comics. Chris Evans making a joke of it, saying, now that I have your attention, vote November 3rd. You got to kind of give him credit for trying to make it humorous. You'd have a lot more people commenting on it. And for some reason, I was muted. I don't know why we were muted. I'm checking to make sure. We've been having trouble with muting. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. There we go. So, Kat's description of this is not a bad thing. I definitely agree with what she's saying here. And I kind of feel for her. So And if you guys didn't hear any of the other stuff for whatever reason I was muted, this is all about Captain America having shown off his privates on social media. So, and he said, now that I have your attention, vote November 3rd. So, I mean, women do have a tendency to have an issue where what happens to them isn't treated the same way as when it happens to a man. There would have been a lot more comments. They would have called her a slut. And we've seen this with many different people. So I would like to see that stop. And I'm just going to run a disclaimer here because you got to make sure people understand. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, Meredith had said, Rob, I don't hear you anymore. Yeah, Meredith, I kind of noticed that. Hopefully that solved it and we didn't go off air for too much. I was pretty sure I was live before Hybrids went there, and I don't know why, but when I came back from the Hybrids video, I guess it kept me muted for some reason. Something I'll have to keep an eye on. Tech, we've been having some weird wonky problems lately. But yeah, I'm very disappointed that I have to take the time to say that women should get the same respect as men. But it's necessary to be said right now. The next time you see a naked picture of a girl, look, we all looked up Captain America and tried to see what kind of hammer he really wields at home. But try to be mindful that they're still human beings when you guys are doing this, and try to be respectful and don't say things about them publicly. I mean, go giggle with your friends, sure. I get that. But try not to do it publicly, and try not to be part of something that becomes ugly online. And good morning, Gary Henderson. And Meredith said, I didn't hear you. I have my website up, thepyramidsnight.com. Thank you for all you do. Do me a favor, Gary. Go to my messenger, put that in the messenger because I can't copy and paste from the messages straight here. And I will bring it up on the show today, as soon as we're done with the mainstream news. So do that for me, please, and I'll put it on the show for you, my friend. All right, so I don't want to see Mr. Evans' wangs. Look, we all saw Batman's wang. It might as well see Captain America's. And with that, back to the mainstream market watch. So what else we got going on today? So Iron Man's getting a little crazy. Road to Iron Man 2020. This is just getting weird. So apparently Tony's not Tony. And I don't know. Ultron is back, and it's not Ultron. It's Ultron Prime. It's going to be crazy stuff. I think Marvel might actually want to make interesting comics again. This is pretty cool, I got to say. And again, that's an opinion of mine. That's why we play the opinion piece on that. So to be clear, that's my opinion. This is cool, though. Here, Andy Bersack, and I'm saying that wrong, but it is what it is, voiced Batman in the new comic Dark Knight Death Metal. And there's some cool stuff in there. You should definitely check it out. We also have it right here. You can hit to play. I would play it for you guys, but I'm sure that there would be a copyright strike that would follow it, unfortunately. So it's here for you guys to see. The Comics Newswire brings you from, by the way, that story was brought to us by our friends over at altpress.com. And DC Comics gave us the other thing from Andy Bersack's actual page, but DC Comics is sharing that too. The Comics Newswire is also on Twitter, by the way. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe today. And our friends over at Comic Book News gives us information on the new Flash suit that's based on comics, says Ezra Miller. And this is pretty cool. They have some images right now. They were talking about it, of course, during FANDOM over the weekend. And Gary Henderson says, we need the mainstream comics to make great comics again. I completely agree. And I kind of like Ezra's passion for this. He has not left the project. So many other actors, I honestly think, would have left this project by now. But he wants to tell the story. I love that. In the meantime, he's done some indie stuff. And I love the fact that he's still getting out there. But he's passionate. I can't wait to see what they come up with. with the DC books. So, I mean, DC movies. And this is like a huge restart. And there's even rumors that part of the suit is actually built by Batman. So stay tuned for more. Here's something great. Great news. This is why I'm so excited about the future. Because we have an 8th grader who publishes his first comic. And he goes on to say, all my family was proud of me. A few years ago, I was not good at all, but then I got on a grind. So a kid turning into a model citizen making comic books. He's brought to us by NBC Channel 5, by the way, KSDK. I brought you the video here. Please check it out. Please watch it. We want to talk about kids, not only turning his life around, but creating comics and getting his opinion, not opinion, but his work out there, his view of the world. Because I always say it, the comics are our expression of how we see the world as creators, and it gets better. We have a media company that combats stereotypes through comics. Great story, and he came up a few years ago. I actually covered this a few years ago, and I'm so happy that we're still talking about that. With the help of several grants, Tony Weaver Jr. founded Weird Enough Productions, a company that creates multimedia content using diverse comics. He goes around with caves. We had talked about it because CNN had covered him. So talk about following up on a story years later and still seeing him doing what he does. I really appreciate that and love that. And just because it's the Halloween season, forget the fact that BJ's, Sam's, and Costco and all of them are putting up Christmas. Forget that, guys. Halloween is still coming. They might be able to take away the Thanksgiving Day parade, but they will not take away Halloween from us. Even if we have to trick-or-treat at our own houses, buy our own candy, walk around the block and keep ringing our own doorbells, there will be a Halloween this year. That's right. And we expect all the women out there who like to get dressed up slutty and put on sexy outfits that we all love once a year to do that, but to do it actually live on air. We expect you all to be on your cameras because we know you want to express yourself on Halloween. And we all want to watch that. We want to get dressed up goofy too. I might even go shirtless for Halloween. Oh my. Oh wait, sorry guys. You don't get a show on Saturday, so you're not going to get it. Maybe I'll dress up as the devil for the Devil's Advocate that Saturday night. So definitely check it out. We got some great books being featured here. Super excited about the fact that Halloween is coming. You can hear the excitement in my voice. And I only know one other person who gets as excited about things as I do about Halloween, and that is my boy Keanu.
Comics are awesome.
And it's true. And why would you want to make a comic?
Well, I used to collect, and I love comic books. And they were like, so, did you ever want to make a comic book? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, man, right? And we're going to send over an invite. Because it's time. It's that time in our show where we open the elevator. So what's the elevator pitch? Well, the elevator pitch is where we have people come on and explain their things. So, Gary, you're not busy right now. You can come on and pitch your new website. We're going to invite our usual co-host who's been taking a little bit of time to get his crowdfunding done. And the fact that we've changed the format a little bit with news, we haven't forgot about our good friend Michael Oden. He is, of course, going to be part of this. We are just reworking some stuff, making it come together the right way. But right now, we're going to have him come in and talk about the next phase of his projects and what's going on. So he should be here any minute. Anyone is now going to be able to come into the room. We're going to send out some information right now for Michael Oden's, and I'm trying to get it. Bear with me. I promise it's coming. All right, so we're going to have Michael Oden's preview to his Indiegogo in just a few seconds. We're going to put it here. Make sure you sign up today. Gary, make sure you're sending me that link, and we will introduce Michael Oden right after we take a quick bump. We'll be right back as the elevator doors open. And also, I'm going to play, by the way, I'm going to play our disclaimer once again. Help us continue to advocate. While we advocate for thousands of creators and hundreds of projects a year at no charge, the tools we use, such as web hosting, URLs, and computers, have an annual cost. help comic book advocates stay on air. Please consider donating anything you can to help us to continue to advocate and put on advocating program for everyone to enjoy. Become an advocate for us and a sponsor for advocating. Who knows? If we make enough, maybe we can hire a full-time editor. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and/or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and/or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. And we are now joined by Odin himself. What's going on? So your new name is Odin? Is that what I should
I've always had it as M. Odin because my name is Michael Odin.
Yeah, but today it's so close together, it makes Modin, and now you just might be Modin.
That's what Randy keeps calling it. If you've noticed on all of my streams that I've been on with Randy Zimmerman on Indie Vault and what have you, he always introduces me as, and we're joined by Modin, because this is always like I've always had like M. Odin on it, and I had to get them close together because otherwise I couldn't get in Pyramid Gambit on there, and I don't want to ditch the Elysian Fields either. So we've got M. Odin, Elysian Fields, Pyramid Gambit. So how's it going, guys? It's been a minute, I know. Things have been going real crazy over here between getting this new campaign ready to go and a whole bunch of other things because, you know, life is what it is. But I'm excited to say that second wave backers we got from the Zero issue, we got your books sent out here yesterday, so you guys should be receiving those soon. And yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Pyramid Gambit. This is the elevator, correct?
This is the elevator pitch, but since you're a co-host, we'll give you a little extra time. Tell us about the first,
Okay.
Tell us how we get to here, and tell them why they should subscribe today to the email list.
All right, so we're going to start off with this elevator pitch. So, you know, Zero issue, for those of you guys that weren't there for that, we got introduced to this tournament of champions from mythology past and what have you. And so going into this, you have the Abyssal Tournament of Champions has begun. Achilles has proven himself worthy of his place in this tournament through his clash through the first hero, Gilgamesh. However, Achilles' return to peace has been stalled as Hades makes an offer he just can't refuse. He now joins the ranks of the champions of Hades alongside Theseus, slayer of the Minotaur, and Heracles, the mighty hero who conquered the 12 labors. Together, they will fight to win this tournament, and their next opponent is a foe that is yet to be defeated in the arena, the champion of Egyptian Lord of the Dead, Osiris. So, you know, this next book, we wanted to really push everything that we did in the Zero issue. You know, we have double the amount of story. I've brought in a whole bunch of people to do variant covers, and we have a lot of exciting stuff coming to you guys on this campaign. And, you know, for reasons to back it, you know, we launch in a week, but the big reason to get signed up for this mailing list right now is you get a free pinup when you do it. We were very fortunate in that Joe Tolliver, a very talented artist, is doing a pinup for us, and his progress on that has been outstanding. And then if that's still not enough for you, if a free poster with your purchase of a perk isn't good enough for you, it's also, we've got some stuff going for very good cause. Last Friday, we revealed the Support Our Troops cover. We have a Support Our Troops package tier on this perk, where $10 of every purchase gets donated to the Special Forces Charitable Trust. And so what you get in that is you get a special exclusive edition of the book that has that variant on it, and that has a little bit of a gallery showcasing the progress of another thing that's in that package, which is a pinup done by Justin Hunt, from who did covers for Lady Death and what have you. And then you also get a unit patch that is being designed by Justin, and a challenge coin that will have both the Elysian Fields logo on one side and then that unit patch insignia on the other. And so, I mean, if that's not reason enough to get signed up on the mailing list and back our project, I don't know what else I can throw at you. I do actually have this Support Our Troops cover by Ted Lehman here to share if you would allow me to do that.
Can you do screen share on your side?
Yep.
Go for
Give
it.
me a sec. Let's see. We're gonna go my entire screen, share this, and just bring it up real quick.
All right, and I'll be right there. Just give me 1 second. Talk to us about it while I get this together.
So what we were trying to accomplish with this Support Our Troops thing, and I talked a little bit about it when we did the video reveal, is so what we have is we have a medic dragging a wounded soldier. And so you've got smoke behind him from a smoke grenade, and out from the smoke is coming an ethereal version of our Achilles from Elysian Fields. And with his spear, he is pointing the soldiers to safety, and with his shield, he is blocking a hail of bullets coming from some insurgents up in the top of a building that you'll see in kind of like the center, back center of the piece. And Ted did a fantastic job. The finished product will be colored by Farah Nurmaliza, who's fantastic. And so, yeah, no, like this is just an outstanding cover. I was really happy with Ted's work on it. He's such a brilliant dude. And, honestly, really just glad that I've gotten a chance to work with him. And looking forward to potentially working with him on some other stuff in the future.
So let me ask you, is there anything behind this cover, Odin? Like, are you going to be donating to charity? You kicked out for a second, so I apologize.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what we're doing is we are partnered with the Special Forces Charitable Trust, which is a fantastic organization that not only does stuff for like the community of the American Special Forces, but it does stuff for their families. And so every one of these that we sell, it'll be $10 of that purchase gets donated to the Special Forces Charitable Trust. And so we have two things that this will be available on. We have the Support Our Troops package perk tier, and as I said, that comes with this special edition of the book that's an Indiegogo exclusive. It comes with a unit patch, a challenge coin, and a Justin Hunt pinup. And then you can also get it on, we have a tier called the Whole Enchilada, which collects the 3 main covers of the book. And it also collects the Support Our Troops edition, the Support Our Troops package as well. And so that will, again, $10 of that will go to the Special Forces Charitable Trust.
Gary Henderson says, that's right up my alley, the Pyramid Gambit.
Yeah. We hope to see you on there, Gary. Please make sure that you subscribe. As I said, we have 1 week left, and we'll be launching live on IndieVolt. So be sure to stay tuned for that as well.
Just out of curiosity, when are you launching live? As no one told me, and I'm scheduling for them, so it'd be nice to know the night that you're doing it.
So it's Tuesday the 22nd. And it's going to be during the standard IndieVolt show. If I'm correct, I've been working that stuff out with Varian, and Varian's obviously had his hands full with things like the launch of Liberty Distribution and what have you. But we last I talked to him, which was about a week ago, we were still on.
See, even guys, I get to learn things when I'm live on air about the things that I'm working towards. So. How is the distributing? By the way, the room is open. You guys can jump on in if you'd like to promote your stuff. And make sure you join the Sinners Club on Facebook by going to Mr. Anderson, and you'll be able to find that. And that's that cool logo we have. Yes, T-shirts are actually coming. People have gotten back to me. They want a T-shirt. They want to be part of the Sinners Club. So talk to us about how distribution is going on your end for your Kickstarter.
So
fulfillment.
So fulfillment, the base packages are still going to be fulfilled by me. But we have a retailer perk on the next book, and we are partnered with Liberty Distribution for that. So we will, for all of the retailers that are out there, you guys are getting the Liberty guarantee that these books are going to get to you safe and in good order. So what we are offering in our retailer perk is there are 3 main covers of the book. And so the retailer perk gets you 3 of each cover. So I think it's a total of 9 books.
That's super cool. So how is the why aren't you going to Kickstarter? I have to ask that, and I ask this of everyone, because it only makes sense to start on Kickstarter and then go to Indiegogo on demand. You just seem to have not gone to that market yet.
So my big thing with Kickstarter is, and I think we'll actually be doing Kickstarter here on this campaign, it just depends, was setting up everything on Kickstarter is a lot more finicky than setting up stuff on Indiegogo. I am not the greatest with technology. And so like when I was setting up everything on Indiegogo, it was super easy. You know, I put in my images, everything went over fine. But then whenever I went over to Indiegogo, it was like, you need to convert this to X amount of pixels and you need to do this, that, the other. And like the thing that I like about Kickstarter is obviously it networks a lot better than Indiegogo does. But my big gripe that I have with it again is that I do not feel that the UI for setting up your campaign is nearly as easy to work with as Indiegogo does.
I don't know. I would argue just because I do host Devil's Advocate, so you know how I roll.
Yeah, of course.
While Indiegogo seems easier, I see a lot more mistakes on Indiegogo because people never go back to double check their zoning with their pictures, and like you said, you just don't get the network reach. And I tell people all the time, and you've done wonderful on Indiegogo. Oh, let me take down my Sinners Club thing. You've done wonderful on Indiegogo. Don't get me wrong. But it just makes sense to start on Kickstarter and then take it over to the on-demand over on Indiegogo. So
no, and that is fair, and that might be something that we do on like future books. I have a project coming up that I might use as that kind of experimental thing to go from Kickstarter over to Indiegogo and what have you. But like as I said, Elysian Fields already has its market really on Indiegogo, so that's not something I was super worried about. Because we raised I think it was $8,829 for the zero issue. So like we already have a solid market on the mailing list. We have over 100 people signed up so far, and it's something that while doing that the other way around is probably not is not a bad play at all. I was comfortable with setting things up on the Indiegogo. I could do it easily on my own, and I learned a lot from things I did well on the first book and things I could have improved on the next. And so I think that our layout on this upcoming campaign is really solid. It looked very professional, I think, and I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I do think that we did a fantastic. I do think I did a fantastic job setting up this next campaign because you're constantly learning in this industry, and if you're not paying attention. So I have done my best to make sure I took everything that I learned from the zero issue and applied it to this campaign, and that's how I plan on doing things going forward. Is just consistently learning, consistently building the brand of Nine Realms Publishing as best as I possibly can, and that's what so when I do that other project that I was mentioning, I think that'll be the first one that I go on to Kickstarter first, and we'll see how that works, and if that really does provide a very different result that gets us that gives us a lot of positive numbers and what have you, then I'll probably shift to that method where start Kickstarter, get fully funded on there, and then move over to Indiegogo to sweep up the rest of the profits over there and really maximize on our capital.
All right. Well, we're going to check out because we promised our good friend Gary Henderson we'd look at it. Here's Pyramid Nights. I really hope that you didn't use any copyright music, so I'm going to play it, Gary.
Oh, that's cool.
And for those on the radio, we're being treated to some images from Gary Henderson's The Pyramid Night right now. This is a reason you
This
have
looks so cool.
to subscribe to Indie Vault YouTube. Because if you guys aren't subscribed to Indie Vault YouTube, you're never going to be able to see the amazing art brought to us right now. This is apparently a film we just saw by Gary Henderson. Gary, I like the site. A few suggestions if you would hear me out. It's very hard to read your site right now. The Pyramid Night,
that's true.
a bit darker. See if you can put even an image instead. A lot of times in these programs, I don't know what you're on. I'm assuming WordPress possibly, but you can actually put an image in place of an actual font. I would do that. Look at that, because it is a lot harder to read than you would realize, while images aren't. It's also your color schemes. Like in here, you should probably be using white. White will come out a lot better than this green will. We also have another image that we'll look at. I like the site. I like the background. I get what you're doing there, but see if you can make it so it's easier to read, because you don't want someone coming to your site after you spent all this time making it and not being able to read what's there. So there's a lot of great stuff going on.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that old, like, late 90s, early 2000s cartoon, Mummies Alive.
I remember that, yeah.
You remember that? This looks so fun.
It definitely looks interesting. I've read a couple of the books. He does great stuff. So I want to see him successful, you know. And remember, a lot of times when people are giving you opinions, and Gary's great with this. Gary's like someone who will ask and listen and learn. And that's why we see Gary constantly leveling up. Listen, if someone's spending their day giving you information because they see something, put your ego away and listen to what they're saying. Because let me tell you, there's so many times where I've given someone one piece of advice, they've turned around and not listened to me and dismissed me, and I never give them a piece of advice again. And 3 months, 4 months later, they'll come back to me and they're like, I don't get why I'm not being successful. I don't know why people are saying things. And it's like, well, I tried to give you advice and you shot me down. They're like, what are you talking about? You don't even realize that you're closing doors. When someone tells me something, the first thing I do is ask them for more. Well, why do you feel this way? What's going on with that? You know, how can I improve it? What do you see? You know, and I kind of want to do that. I want to kind of help these creators. Gary's a great guy, you know, and Gary says, oh, thank you. And I remember that. Thank you, guys. And Gary's a great example. He is always trying to learn. He's very humble. He comes on to shows. He listens. He asks wonderful questions. I celebrate people like Gary who are going to be around for a very long time because he's learning the game that is independent comic book creating. And it's always changing. And, you know, we see a lot, and there are shifts, and Odin will know what I'm kind of talking about, but we're not allowed to fully talk about on air, is the people who are coming in for cash grabbing the industry. And I know there are a few people who are going to be like, am I talking about you? Probably yes, but more than just you, because we've seen an influx of people who are trying to come in. And what they don't understand is that every year we have someone who's coming to solve our rat trap problem. You know, like the things that work, they want to come in and reinvent them so they can put their finder's fee on top of it. Tell us how that's going to be what the cure to our problems. And then we see them go away. Every year I see people, I've seen how many people try to do comic book advocates, you know. And Odin last night, or Modin, I'm going to call you Modin from now on.
Oh, thanks, man.
Modin. Last night on my You're Not Alone, by the way, every day we have a show called You're Not Alone where I talk to people. And for those who don't know, and I'm able to share this story, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about doing it, no matter what mood I'm in, is that there was a person who told me, several people told me it really helped them. But there was one person who sent me a message about it. And we had just done this over the holidays and said how close they'd come to committing suicide. But the fact that I was going live every day made them feel less alone. And I was blown away by that. And I don't forget that. So no matter what mood I'm in, I go live and I share my honest, how am I feeling today? And I'll be honest, man, yesterday and even a little bit today, I kind of feel and a little underappreciated for what I do with all the advocating that I do. And I feel like I'm not hitting the moments that I'm supposed to hit. And I guess it's just an energy thing, because you see these things happening around you, and it's almost like watching people repeat the same mistake, except the people have changed out. And you want to help everyone. Like, I really like helping people, but I don't want to help people at, if people aren't willing to listen. And lately, it just seems like there are a lot of stubborn people out there who know better despite never having put out a comic book, who know better despite never having been part of the game. I mean, even in Indiegogo and Kickstarter, a lot of people don't understand the fundamental differences. And Odin talked about a few of them, but missed on a couple others. And I'm sure Odin might know this because we've talked in great length on this. But a few things he just didn't mention for those of you listening at home and listening on the radio or listening on the video. One of the biggest differences between Indiegogo and Kickstarter was Kickstarter came first. Indiegogo came second and decided to hyper focus on certain aspects of crowdfunding. So Indiegogo took what they saw on Kickstarter and made it their own. And honestly, it was a little bit of luck that they wound up sticking it out with tech. They got a lot of money with the tech industry. But the biggest thing here is that you take your audience to Indiegogo. Kickstarter, you grow an audience. And that's the whole gigantic difference between the two platforms. And I know people will tell you about the politics that are this and that, and this one does this and that. We have to get to a point where comics cannot have, I was going to say stupid. I don't mean stupid. What I really mean, because stupid's an easy way out of that conversation. What I really mean is we have too many people trying to dictate what's good for a big group. One person was pissed off at Kickstarter, so now a whole group doesn't use Kickstarter. Doesn't make sense. Money's green, no matter where it comes from. It's like the same people out there right now who are like, oh, well, if you're an X and you're voting for Y, then get off my page. I don't want you as a backer. Let me tell you, I unfriend those people. Don't care who you are. And it's not even, does not matter where I fall under your declaration. It's the fact that you are that person. And to be that person is ugly. To say your friends have to be an echo chamber with you is ugly. I don't like those statements. So I will unfriend you. I will not financially support you, or I'll call you out. And I don't know which one's worse. You'd have to ask the person, because usually calling out, I think, is worse for a person because of the way they react to it. I've had a couple people who be like, well, Rob, why'd you unfriend me? And I'll be like, well, you told people if you were X and you're for Y. And they're like, but I didn't think you were. I was like, does it matter? You didn't know what I was, and you still made that statement. And I've had people like, oh, come on, Rob, don't be that way. I'm sorry. And I've even seen people retract it because they don't realize. They don't. No one ever stops and thinks, who might I be offending? No one cares anymore. I actually spend time trying not to offend people, Modin. Modin, I really do. I go out of my way trying not to offend people.
Well, it's an interesting thing to me. Because we're in a free market economy, A, but B, we're in a country that you're supposed to be encouraged to have diversity of thought, right? And don't get me wrong, like there are certain people that if I hear their opinions on something, I might not want to be associated with them because they might have something to do with like hate speech, this, that, the other. But having a political opinion, having any sort of opinion whatsoever shouldn't automatically qualify you to be like kicked out of anything, because that's your right as a citizen. So long as it's not doing any damage to anybody around you and you're not actively trying to hurt somebody, your opinion is your opinion. I might not agree with it. I might not be like, yeah, let's go talk politics sometime, because I don't think that would go well. I don't generally try to do that anyway. But like, that isn't something that should be like, oh, well, so and so believes this, that, the other, or so and so voted for this. Like, hey, that's not my. If you publicize who you voted for, okay, fine. I'm not going to pay attention to it because you're technically allowed privacy as a voter, right? Like, I'm not going to go into all of that. I just, to me, cutting people off in the industry because they think differently than you is dangerous. That's dangerous in any society. The moment that we immediately close ourselves off to the other viewpoint is the moment that our goose is truly cooked. And you know, I've spoken to Rob, I've spoken to Varian about this multiple times, but a while ago they hosted a panel that brought together the COMiX gate and the left side of things, and they conversed. And Varian and Rob served as third, and JD Calderon served as third-party moderators to make sure that facts stayed facts and nobody got into their feelings about stuff, and so that people could actively get to see the other side's perspective and hopefully grow and move towards a middle ground. And those are the kinds of things that we need in this industry, because I think that at its core, especially in indie, we all want the same thing. It's just we've become so concerned with these labels that we're not really willing to speak to another creator if they associate us that label, and that's not a good look on things. A rising tide is good for all ships. It doesn't matter what you espouse to be, so long as you're not putting out like hate speech and slander, you're good in my book.
And I do want to acknowledge this, not to break in, but the circumstances are deteriorating in the Gulf. And for anyone who can hear us still in the Gulf that is being affected by Hurricane Sally, please take care. Listen to all your advisories and take shelter when possible. Our hearts go out to you guys. I'm in Florida, so we were just affected over the weekend. I get it. And my heart goes out to you and your family. Please be safe. And be mindful.
Yes, absolutely.
About this being a rainmaker that could be flooding. So please don't drive into puddles. Don't try to evacuate if things get bad. Stay indoors. Even if you have to hide in your bathroom, please stay in your bathroom, because they're talking about 30 inches. You might not know what you drive into, and there won't be help to help you. So please, honestly, not our normal topic, but my heart goes out to, because we've been affected by hurricanes. I was both in Irma and Sandy, two very bad storms, and man, I never cared about hurricanes till Sandy. And Irma made me run because of course, Jax is 5 and he's autistic, and it's very hard to explain to him and let him tell me how he's feeling to calm him down when he gets excited, especially because of the autism. So it's the worst situation to keep him in something like that. Power goes out and he freaks out now because just coming back after Irma and he saw the destruction that's affected him. So please take it easy. But no, you're absolutely right. We try to bring people together. This show has always had an open door policy. We were talking about me and Geek Insider and Indie Volt. We're talking, is there a necessity for making a list of people who can't be on shows and stuff like that? And I'll tell you the truth, I don't have a list. There are people out there who hate me, and I'll be honest, there are people out there that I hate. They're always welcome in this room because I'm from New York. And that means, come on in.
Square up.
Why don't you say that right now? Right now, while I'm here, you're welcome to have that conversation.
And it goes back to that whole thing again. If we completely shut ourselves out from any form of communication with one another, then how are we expected to move forward? What's the where is the line that we put in? Hope for a better tomorrow. We're writing, those of us who are writing comics probably got into it because we were reading books about superheroes.
You know what it is, Moden? You know what it is? We need to laugh more. We need to
100%.
Yeah, and we need people like Mark Gawanagai Darden to do that. He is coming on. He is here to save our funny bone. Good morning, Mark. And it's way earlier where you are. It's about to be lunch for me. It's like what, 8 in the morning?
Oh, it's 9. It's not crazy early, but I've been up for 3 hours. There are still a few more things to do to get ready for the launch. Had to run to a print shop, film a video. You know, normal pre-work kind of stuff.
And Mark is here to tell us about this. When will it launch?
So launching in 2 minutes.
Oh goodness! So
2
we're gonna
minutes.
live launch here. So tell us about it. Give us the elevator pitch. Is the elevator doors back? The elevator doors back closed. No one's allowed in.
Guys like Seinfeld with superpowers.
There we go.
Just a cast of jerks who don't know they're jerks. Guano guy wants to be famous. Helping people is just a byproduct of trying to get that fame.
I've got to look over this because this is going to be part of Terraform. I gave some feedback on things I thought should be changed. But for the most part, it was like I enjoyed just reading the goofiness that is Mark's character, Guano Guy, because you can see it kind of bleeds into the Kickstarter. It instantly makes you feel happier. And I like that. I like when I have to do something that's like, okay, Rob, go look this over. And I get to have fun doing it instead of like coming back with like a laundry list and being like, try again. This was more fun. This was like, you know, wow, I get the humor in it. There's some jokes. There's subtle jokes. There's play on words. And it's just entertaining. And I mean, the fact that 2 characters are having puppet wars is amazing.
Is that what's going on there? Oh, that's fantastic. I was just going to comment that the tagline there has already sold me. Freaking the Tick, Darkwing Duck, and 60s Batman said it was good and you trust them, right? I think that's awesome.
And for those listening at home, I believe it's now official. I've gotten the notification. I can't back it from this profile. Damn it. I'm on the wrong page. I'll be back. I have to back it. But I want to be back at number 1. I'm racing to beat everyone.
There's several well, I think it's 36-hour. There's a couple of pledge levels that are 36-hour ones with a nice little discount to sweeten the pot there. So the new issue with the PDFs, or if you get all the issues plus the PDF set, that one's at a discount, and the PDF set as well. So it's a couple of ones where like 36 hours, get in there, get a discount, save yourself a little, help us out too.
Did I make number 1? I'm really trying to be number 1. I'm racing to be the first backer, but now I've already lost it by a few seconds, I think. Let's see if I was able to be backer number 1 or if there's already a few people. I think I might have been backer number 1. No, what's going on with this thing? I just backed it. All right, Kickstarter, you failed this city. All right.
Oh, yeah, we got a backer on here. Oh, yeah, it did look like there was one.
No, I seriously backed it. I can see it on my screen. For some reason,
sure. You know, if you don't want to back it, just say so. You don't.
I just backed. We'll see how it goes. So I might be backer number 2.
Yeah.
See, show yes. Okay, see, Mark. But now I don't know if he was number 1 or I was number 1. Uh-oh.
I think you were, because it said 24 when I logged on to the page.
I don't know. This might be pistols at dawn now.
Freaking, we're going out for high noon, bro.
Just because it's that important to be the first person to back a Guano Guy. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh goodness.
I don't know, guys. I don't think it's very funny if you die over this.
We're gonna use water guns. What do you think we're gonna kill you? You thought we were gonna kill
you? Man, you can't do water guns. You got to go Nerf. How are you supposed to tell who wins if we go water?
You do it in the winter.
Well, also you do dyed water.
Yeah, do dyed water.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Dyed water will work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, I did. It says it on my phone that I backed you. It's official. It's official.
It did it.
All right, guys. That's the news today. Mark, take us out. Tell us why they should back this project now live on Kickstarter.
It's just a lot of fun. I try to pack silly stuff into every page. I try to make every page worth, each one is its own little fun thing. If you got a few minutes in your day, you need a break, you just want to have a few laughs, this is the book. Come join us. We've got all these great artists that are doing awesome styles. Our team from the last 2 issues is back doing the main story. And we got cultural references. We got gags. Trust me, you're going to see some stuff in this comic I'm pretty sure hadn't been done, which is a wild statement because you got to figure with all the books out there, somebody did it before. But I think I've got something in this one that you have not seen ever. So that's got to be worth the price of admission, right?
And remember, every time you back this project, it tells people that they are actually part of it. So make sure that you can build a community around Guano Guy and around Mark. Real quick, Modin, tell them how they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at @ElysianFields_0. You can find us on Facebook, 9 Realms Publishing. And we have the mailing list is up. That should be on the video, I believe. Yeah, you have a week to sign up. We're at 106 backers. Help us get to 200. We're chugging along. 106 on the mailing list. We don't have backers yet, obviously, but one can hope.
Well, there you go. Everyone get ready because this fall is going to be awesome with creators like this giving you brand new content. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 for the news. And remember, tomorrow's back report, so we'll be able to look at Mark's. Actually, you know what? We have a couple extra minutes. Mark, we didn't look at the video.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
We made a video, right? Let's end the show on that video. And here it is.
Boom! The Guano Guy is back with issue number 3. Oh, I'm Mark Dunn, and we're here with a 29-page full-color, comedy-filled, hilarity book. Working all night, getting the final touches together. Now, obviously, this is really cool cover by Tony Farrell. Really fun cover by Ryan English. Colors coming. And we've got 5 different art teams with a variety of very fun, very colorful styles. This book is for kids and adults. It's just lots of fun. If you've been here before, you know what we're doing. But if you haven't, if you like the Tick, Darkwing Duck, maybe the Venture Brothers, the old Batman TV show, this is the book. This is the thing for you. It's going to be tons of fun. Please help us out. We just love making books and bringing some lighthearted entertainment to the world. I'm Mark Darn, and thank you very much for checking us out.
Comics are awesome.